Hello again, friends. In this next episode, we are going to take you on a tour of Zone 1, our front yard. We are going to take you into town as we pop tags at the thrift store. We're going to teach you how to ferment kraut and tell you all about why you should be doing it and why most bacteria are actually your friends and not your enemies. And finally, we're going to reveal to you the finished aviary and introduce Fiddle and Lupe to it for the first time.
Will they be able to peacefully coexist in there together without killing each other? Find out in this episode of Everything is Fine. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel as a very simple way to support our work and livelihood.
So we are out here trying to decide on some changes that we're making to the land. Nothing major, just like figuring out where to plant things, what things to replace, and like where to put some different fruit trees.
Fruit trees?
Yes, because sometimes the places that we have picked historically are not the best.
Well, let's check it out. Show me.
For instance, there is a coconut palm growing in the chicken yard that I'm worried is going to get too tall, and that's like a little bit close to the house. We are cutting down some Pepe palms for the same reason. So before it gets
Don't want
too
to get
big,
smashed by coconuts.
yeah, before it gets too big, I'm wondering if we should move that somewhere. And secondly, we have some fruit trees. Well, not all fruit trees, but a couple fruit trees and some coca shrubs / trees
Coca.
to choose where to go.
That's a cocaine plant.
And it's not a cocaine plant, it's a coca plant. It's completely natural and completely legal.
We're just going to use it to make energizing teas.
And there's a mangosteen.
Ooh, mangosteen.
And the next thing we need to talk about is some improvements we're making to the mud factor in our yard.
Oh Lord, y'all, look at this mud.
All this is so muddy.
Literally
And it's
cannot
mostly because
go outside
we
without
don't have a good gutter situation, so
Yeah, like no gutter
no
situation.
gutters. So we're talking about what to do here and what
Our
to
house.
do on the whole side of the house so that it doesn't turn into this big mud pit. So
Our yard is a mud pit.
we'll have Berto. It's probably going to be a contract job where he hires some help, but scrape off all this mud,
Okay.
all that mud, and all the way to the aviary,
Look at this.
and add gravel, and just make a gravel path all the way to the aviary and surround the aviary with gravel as well. And also we'll have to put gutters up here. So
Right.
it's going to be a little bit of an expense, but all this water falls down on the roof. And this is, I mean, when it rains, this is like a pool,
Right. Oh, I know.
like a lake. So gutters first, and then
Scrape it out. This yard, y'all, used to get sprayed with glyphosate just to, instead of cutting the grass, it was just sprayed with Roundup to kill the grass. And I think that was happening for years. And so this soil in the front yard is pretty dead and bad.
We're bringing it back though.
Yeah, we definitely are. Look at this grass. When we moved here, it was just crunchy and brown, and we thought that was normal, but now we realize that we have connected the dots. It was being sprayed. It's just mind-blowing to think of spraying an entire yard routinely with glyphosate. Ugh. But yeah, some of the herbs and like more rugged plants that we've planted out here have done okay, but all the fruit trees we've tried to plant in the front yard have been just not having it. Oh. Pepe is really super sore today from our last leg day at the gym. Some bad things happened to his butt and his lower back, mine also, but
Strengthening that booty.
So this right here, speaking of the leafcutter ants, this is the ruins of a leafcutter ant highway. You can't really see it that well anymore, but that little path is a leaf cutter ant path. We got them under control by spraying this like probiotic fungus mixture that kills them. But they were taking over the farm.
The leaf cutters are back.
Oh no, what?
Destroying these.
No. We're just trying to grow some food.
They've been holding on by a thread.
We are just trying to grow some food, and we ordered this plant all the way from South Florida. It's called Coco, and it's like a wild leafy green that could theoretically provide us a lot of nutrition, but
Still healthy.
we tried to plant these up here like a year ago, and they just can't grow past a certain point because not only is the soil bad, but also they keep getting railed by fucking leafcutter ants. It's a huge problem, and the leafcutter ants are the main reason that we have hardly been able to grow any food yet. So that's our yard, y'all. That's our yard, and those are our struggles with leafcutter ants, glyphosate, and mud. So today we are going shopping, thrifting, popping tags. This is our local thrift shop, and we are about to get fabulous because we need some new clothes. So let's go popping tags. One of the prime features of this particular thrift store, they have these huge bins where you really have no idea what treasures await you. It's a little bit more work, but I just kind of gravitate towards colors that I like or fluffy things like this. And it's 300 colones for whatever you find in here. So a little bit more work, but sometimes totally worth it. Love it.
It's actually not bad.
So I was very excited about this piece, but it doesn't fit. I think this is the last thing it's ever gonna do because I kind of destroyed it trying to put it on, but
Give me a spin.
Hey, good finds, great finds.
What you got?
So much fun. Got towels for the beach, sheets, shorts, t-shirt, cool blouse. So
What are you most excited about?
probably the blouse,
Awesome.
which was not what I expected.
So one of the foods that we try to keep around here all the time is sauerkraut. We try to eat as much fermented foods as possible, and sauerkraut is a really tasty and healthy way to get some probiotics, a heavy dose of probiotics in your belly. So Pepe and I often tag team this task because it's actually a really time-consuming task. It's pretty tedious, and if there's anything that Pepe hates, it's tedious tasks and like little things that he has to do with his hands. He's not into it, and I actually am. So that's one way that we really work well together is I do the tedious little handwork, and then he does other parts. I'm known as the fruit ninja in this kitchen because I have good knife skills and I like chopping things. So yeah, and right now Pepe's out in the yard planting a coca bush. And I'm gonna chop this up, and 30 minutes I have a client, and then eventually he'll come in here and explain the rest of the process to you.
Alright, so our Fruit Ninja Coco has so graciously done all of the prep work for me to make us some sauerkraut. So he's got all this chopped up, and now is where the fun begins. So basically, once you have the chopped up kraut, and by the way, you can ferment other vegetables that's not cabbage, but this is a classic kraut. So we use cabbage, and now all I have to do is like pound and massage this cabbage. I do it in batches because our bowl is only so big, and add some salt and put it in the crock and let nature do the rest. So I'm gonna start doing that now. I've already portioned the salt out. There's a lot of chemistry involved in this, so you don't want to add too much salt and you don't want to add too little salt. But basically, it regulates the bacteria and the moisture, so once the salt gets in here, it starts drawing out the water from the cabbage. So does the pounding. So to really get my hands in there, I do a lot of squeezing, and then using my fists and applying a lot of pressure. So this is really dry cabbage right now, but you're gonna see how that transforms over time. So probiotics are beneficial bacterial organisms. You probably have heard of that in terms of supplementation. A lot of people take a probiotic capsule every day to help with their digestion. Probiotic foods like kraut, kefir, which is fermented milk, kombucha, fermented tea, they're teeming with living organisms, and usually much more diverse, much more useful, much more vibrant than a probiotic capsule. So it's great to take a probiotic. However, getting probiotics from food, from these fermented foods, is like a whole other level of health promoting. So a teaspoon of this stuff, a tablespoon of kraut can have up to like 10 billion colony forming units. They're called CFUs. If you look at a probiotic supplement bottle, it'll tell you how many CFUs are in there per dose. It's usually anywhere from 5 billion to 100 billion. So just a tablespoon of this stuff can have up to 10 billion. And not only that, but a very diverse and wide variety of strains, different strains of bacteria. And so colony forming units essentially just means that the bacteria that's in here, the good stuff, it's a way to measure how much of that is going to actually form into a colony along your digestive tract. So most obvious benefit of probiotics is for your digestive health. People that experience a lot of gas, bloating, indigestion, diarrhea, irregular elimination patterns, which is a lot of us these days have something like that going on. That's called gut dysbiosis, and usually it's related to eating too much sugar, eating too much crap, and causing an imbalance of bacterial organisms in your gut. So adding the good guys helps rebalance the gut. I don't know if you can see this, but see how liquidy that is? That's what happens when you massage it and add salt. So when I put the weight down on top of all this stuff, all that liquid's gonna rise up and it'll cover all of the cabbage. So there you have it. About 4 or 5 days. We're gonna have some fresh kraut to share with you. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I think next week maybe we'll show you how we make sourdough bread, which is another traditional fermented food made with a sourdough starter. So stay tuned for more. Today we are going to introduce Fiddle to his new house. Oh.
And this is why Lupe is not going to be allowed to stay in there until she proves that she can get it together and be nice. Which part of the problem is Lupe is the HBIC, and she's been here longer. She's older, she's bigger, and she considers most of this property to be her territory. So we built Fiddle his own habitat and his own safe place where he can stretch his wings, and if Lupe can be nice, she'll be allowed to live in there too.
And only if. Let's go check it out.
I really hope that you can learn to be nice and live in there, because that would just be so great if y'all could be friends and then I don't have to be your only friend. Really, that's what it comes down to. And you would have a better life too, because look at this place. It's so big. Ooh, almost fell down in the mud. Fiddle, what do you think? This is so much better than that cage.
Hey Fiddle, look at
We
this
never
wall.
really wanted you to live in there.
Look at this food.
But this is your veranda.
Fifi. Fifi.
Got your own patio where you can have parties by yourself or maybe with Lupe. We're gonna come in there and hang out with you, because even we can fit in there. Not in the bird house, but in the aviary. Look at this. So sick. I really think that it's going to work out. And because this is a neutral space that she isn't possessive of yet, and they both have enough space in here, I think that they're going to be able to learn to coexist. Pepe has strong doubts, but I believe in the goodness of my sweet Lupe's heart. Deep down inside, she's a good bird. Don't drop it.
Look at all these places you have to go. Eat it, baby.
He said it's okay if he drops it because unshelling it is half the fun.
Okay. But there's no nutrition in just unshelling it.
He doesn't care about that yet.
He's doing good.
Exploring the limits, of course.
What you think, girl?
She's excited about it. You just see her eye? That went really well. Meeting like the whole thing. I have wanted an aviary for years and years and years. Obviously, before we even moved to Costa Rica, I've always been a bird guy. So this makes me really happy.
I've not at all been a bird guy
Not at all.
until now.
But he has his own bird now. And hopefully our two birds can become friends. We're not gonna let them spend time alone in there together until we are confident that they have worked things out and they can do it safely. Until then, they're gonna be supervised. So they're both in there together right now and things are going well. So we're gonna get our lunch and we're all gonna eat in there together, and we'll see, maybe in a couple of weeks, no more cages. Fingers crossed. We'll keep you posted.
Whew. That was such a fun day.
An awesome day.
I love going thrifting, and we have been to this thrift store before. However, we had no idea there were so many hidden treasures there. We really did it right this time.
I think sometimes we're just into practical of a mindset, looking for like functional clothing, and therefore we miss a lot.
And I don't know if y'all are seeing this, but I mean, we look fresh as fuck. These like early 90s, late 80s disco sweat ski jackets are definitely like my favorite thrift find ever, like throughout my whole life. Do we need them in the jungle? No. But maybe we'll go skiing sometime somewhere, and we will definitely be wearing them then, or if we travel somewhere cold, who knows?
And how could we really have passed them up?
You can't pass this up. And I was like questioning, maybe we shouldn't have gotten these, but I got home and realized the original ski ticket is still on the jacket. And it's from the 1990-1991 season. It says Copper Mountain Resorts. I don't know if anyone knows where Copper Mountain Resort is or was, but if you do, let us know, because I'm intrigued.
Or if these happen to be your jackets, they
they're
are
yours.
now continuing their life in the tropics, and we would love to know. So if you're out there watching, your jackets are still kicking.
So, moving on, we have some kraut to try. We bottled it up yesterday and got it in the fridge. Have not tried it yet, but we're excited. Let's give it a go. Definitely has the classic kraut fart smell.
Oh yeah,
That's normal.
it's gonna be tangy.
Official taste test.
You take a bigger bite than that. Don't tell me what you think.
Whoa. Okay.
On the count of 3. Say what you think. 1, 2, 3. Ocean
Yikes.
water.
It's very salty, y'all.
Oh.
I think I went a little heavy on the salts.
What the hell?
I referred to our guidebook. They say if you don't have whey to add extra salt. But I have been notorious for confusing teaspoon and tablespoon, so
Ew. We're gonna have to figure out some way to tone that salt down because we have a policy that we eat everything we create. So we're definitely not gonna throw this
it
away.
will not go to waste. And it is good for you. It's good for us. It's got a good crunch. It's full of good probiotics, but not our best work. But that's okay. You can't win them all. Speaking of, I represent a really awesome probiotic company called Seed. You may have seen a video or two about them on my Instagram, but it's a amazing, highly clinically studied probiotic and prebiotic formula, all packaged in one beautiful little capsule. And it's the most amazing supplement that I even know about, and I study supplements all the time. So if you're interested in that, we'll include a link where you can follow my affiliate link and order your own bottle, and I get a little cut of that. So yeah, and reach out to me if you have any questions on that kind of thing. I'd love to talk to you about it.
So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we hope you'll come back next time to learn how to make sourdough, and also we will take you further back into the farm and maybe introduce you to some different animals that you haven't met yet, because the first 2 episodes we kind of stuck near the house, but
God help us.
next time we're going to venture out. Keep it real, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching, y'all.
Peace out.
Everything is fine.
So this little cove right here is where I bring all the baby tabacons that I find in the trees, or babies that have fallen on the ground, and I plant them over here in the shade, and it has become my little tabacon nursery. It takes probably like 10 years for them to get as big as that one in our yard. I'm just gonna keep cultivating them and spreading them all over the property, and maybe even one day having a little plant shop here on the land, a plant nursery where we can sell them to people, because tabacons, being such big and beautiful plants, are actually worth a lot of money once they get huge. So I'm gonna cultivate as many of them as I can. Why not?